7 o'clock, we got Virginia Tech, which went 6-7 last year, traveling to Old Dominion, which also went 6-7 last year. Virginia Tech favored by 8.5 points on ESPNU. And this is the battle of the Penn State coordinators. Actually, this game's really cool because Virginia Tech's new head coach is Brent Pry. If you don't know who Brent Pry is, he was the Penn State defensive coordinator for the longest time. It was really kind of interesting that he never got a head coaching job. I always thought he very much deserved one, and he looked like he was a really good coach at Penn State, really good DC. So I was always wondering why our offensive coordinators were getting head coaching jobs and not Brent Pry. But then you look at Old Dominion, Ricky Ronnie, our old offensive coordinator, is the head coach of Old Dominion. These guys coach together, which is really kind of cool. That they're going to be playing against each other week 1. This is Brent Pry's first time as a head coach of Virginia Tech, going against his former buddy, his former coordinator friend. But Virginia Tech's favored by 8.5 in this one. Grant Wells, the quarterback for Marshall. Marshall, 2 years ago, I was doing videos about Marshall deep into the season. And it was in large part because of Grant Wells. He was an amazing freshman QB. He slipped a little bit in his sophomore year, and I guess he saw an opening at Virginia Tech, and he went there and he took it. He went 295 and 445 last year, threw for 3,532 yards. The yards were not the problem. It was the touchdown-interception ratio, 16 touchdowns to 13 interceptions. You really want to cut back on that if you're Grant Wells and you're playing Virginia, and you're at a Virginia Tech Hokie. Malachi Thomas is their new running back. He had 93 carries last year for 440 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Caleb Smith had 20 catches for 260 yards and 2 touchdowns. Obviously, not the biggest receiving threat coming back, but, maybe more playing time will do good for him. Hayden Wolf last year went 159 to 253, threw for 1,933 yards, 10 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, and had a 62.8% completion percentage. Blake Watson had 215 carries for 1,112 yards and 8 touchdowns, and really kind of carried the offense last year. And Allie Jennings, the third, had 62 catches for 1,066 yards and 5 touchdowns. Now, so you're wondering, these teams have played before. Virginia Tech's 2-1 against Old Dominion all time. Old Dominion has a chance to tie this thing up here. Last game went to Virginia Tech in 2019. But these are completely two different teams. Ricky Ronnie wasn't even the head coach of Old Dominion yet, and neither was Brent Pry, the head coach of Virginia Tech. And who do I think is going to win this one? I think it could be a quite close matchup, honestly. I think Brent Pry is a phenomenal defensive mastermind, and I think Virginia Tech has a lot of defensive talent. But I don't think the Hokies are quite there on offense yet. Grant Wells, he's really good, but I don't know if he's going to be that quarterback as soon as he gets to Virginia Tech. I don't think this is going to be a blowout. I think Old Dominion keeps it close, and I'm going to take the risk. I think Virginia Tech wins this one, but Old Dominion covers the 8.5 point spread.